Welcome to Equity Is, a podcast from the School District of Philadelphia's Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. This podcast is about cultivating prosperity and liberation for students and staff. We do this by showcasing and debriefing on the great equity work that is being done throughout the School District of Philadelphia community. With each episode, we hope to cover topics that will create pathways for marginalized populations in our district by removing barriers, increasing access and inclusion, building trust, and creating a shared culture of social responsibility and organizational accountability. I am your host, Tori Potenza, the Program Manager for the Office of DEI. This episode is a special preview episode for our Social Justice Summit happening on Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service, Monday, January 16th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is the second annual summit with plenty of information and interactive workshops presented by school staff, central office staff, students, and community partners. This is a virtual event that is open to the public, so if you've not signed up yet, you can do so by clicking the link in the show notes. To kick off the episode, I was able to sit down and interview Michelle Gaynor, the Senior Project Manager for the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Michelle has been one of the driving forces behind creating the summit and was able to discuss how the event came about, what last year was like, and what people have to look forward to this year. So the Social Justice Summit is something that was planned through the Equity Coalition before the DEI office even existed. Could you tell us why this was an important event to plan for the coalition?
As the coalition, we recognized that there was a need to uplift and amplify the equity work that was being done, not just within our district, but across the city, but particularly the efforts of teachers, school leaders, central office staff to promote and advance equity and remove barriers.
So what are the goals and missions of the summit?
The goal and mission of the summit really is to highlight that equity work that's being done both in the district and around the city, and not just to highlight it, but to bring it to district staff, students, families, community members, and share with them how they can get involved in it and how they can help spread that equity work into their own contexts.
So what were some of the highlights or wins from last year's Social Justice Summit?
Really exciting about the Social Justice Summit last year, we had about between 100 and 120 attendees. We offered 2 different learning sessions between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. And those learning sessions had 5 different offerings happening concurrently during each session. So we offered 10 different opportunities to learn about different topics related to equity. What was really exciting was out of our presenters, we had 33 total presenters, and about 60% of them, or 20, were School District of Philadelphia employees, folks who are doing great work right here in the district. And the other 13, or that 40%, were made up of different community members, university affiliates, nonprofit organizations that are also doing fantastic work to promote equity in Philadelphia. Some of those topics ranged from youth civic engagement to food insecurity to social emotional learning to equity-centered community partnerships. And so our attendees last year were really able to experience a variety of different opportunities to learn about how equity work is happening and what it looks like and how they can get involved in it from across the city.
Looking back on last year's summit and the planning that went into the summit coming up next week, what are some of the changes that have been made to the summit that people could potentially look forward to?
I think we've made some really great changes this year. Last year, folks thought that the presentations weren't quite long enough. They wanted to hear more. And they also wanted more opportunity to interact and experience the equity work that the folks in those presentations were talking about. They wanted to get a little taste of it. So changes we've made this year is we lengthened the presentation block and we put fewer we either have just one person or one group presenting, or at the most we have two separate groups presenting, but we gave them a longer amount of time to do those presentations in so that folks really are able to get the full scope of what that individual organization does and what they have to offer. We also added an entire section of workshops that are interactive and participatory and give folks the ability not only to sit and ingest information, but to put it into practice and to really get an idea of how they can take what they've learned and translate it into their professional context, whether that's the classroom, whether that's as school-based support, whether that's as a school leader, or whether that's as a community member. How can you take what you've learned in this workshop and bring it into your context to create more equitable practices for you and the people you interact with?
And what are you most excited about for this year's summit?
I think the thing I'm absolutely the most excited about for this year's summit is the fact that we have a group of student presenters this year that have completely designed their workshop. They have put together their slide deck. They have practiced and rehearsed how they're going to interact with their attendees and how they're going to engage them and challenge their thinking. And they are just such incredible young people. And I think that their workshop, along with all of our workshops and presentations, which are extremely informative and exciting in and of themselves, but I'm very excited to have students leading the charge in the work that's happening in our district and sharing that information with other people.
What do you hope that people ultimately take away from the Social Justice Summit?
I really hope from whatever workshop they choose to participate in that they have a new process or practice that they want to put in place in some capacity within their professional context. And from the presentations, I hope that they're able to learn about maybe a different program or process or initiative that they might want to get involved in, or that they might want to bring to their classroom, or that they might want to donate their time to in some form or fashion. So I hope that they're able to take away like a process practice change and some information that helps inform how they move forward in their equity work within the district and the Philadelphia community at large.
And so this is the second year for the summit, and I think we all hope that there'll be more social justice summits in the future. So, what do you envision for the future of the Social Justice Summit?
You know, the future of the Social Justice Summit, it's curious, right? Because we do it on Martin Luther King Jr., a day of service, which is a fantastic day to spend in deep reflective thought about how we can reimagine what equity looks like in our district. But at the same time, it's also a day that many people look at as a day off. So I would love to see the future of the Social Justice Summit get to the point where it's so engaging and people look forward to it so much each year that we could hold it in person and that people are going to be willing to prioritize attending it in service of learning and thinking of how we can redesign the system that we exist in to produce more equitable outcomes for our young people that we all care so deeply about.
If you want to know more about what topics will be covered this year, several presenters were able to provide quick synopsises of what they would be discussing. Now you'll hear from those leading interactive workshops at the summit. Join Rhonda Moore from Dancing Classrooms Philly for her workshop, Self-Acceptance and Self-Care Through Body and Breathwork.
The physical body is a vessel, a receptacle, a repository we all have in common. Each and every single body is different, yet somehow the same. Our bodies sustain, support, and accompany each and every one of us as we navigate through days and nights of routine and improvisation, order and disorder, strength and fragility, joy and sorrow, nonsense and reason, silence and noise, stillness and movement, stubbornness and amenability, taking in everything, absorbing much in myriad ways. Please join me in this collaborative nooks and crannies exploration of the body as container of cultural knowledge and celebration of your existence and your presence in the world.
Join Laura Lau and Shannon Wilson from the Office of Grant Development with the School District of Philadelphia for their workshop, Project Prioritization and Development.
This workshop is a great opportunity for anyone interested in learning how to prioritize and develop projects in their school community. Have you ever wondered how some schools get projects successfully funded and implemented while other schools might struggle? Or are there so many projects that your school needs that you don't really know where to start? Creating and prioritizing your wish list of projects is actually the hardest part. In this workshop, you will learn the do's and the don'ts for successfully creating your school's wish list by participating in guided exercises and engaging conversation.
Join Kelly Zuckerman and Lauren Lattimore from Bryn Mawr College for their workshop, Mod Podge, Melding Art Making and Educational Transformation.
Bring a piece of paper, a drawing utensil, and an open mind to our workshop, Mod Podge, Melding Art Making and Educational Transformation, as part of SDP's virtual Social Justice Symposium. We will create a virtual community and discuss ways in which we can derive inspiration from the arts as we center equity in our roles connected to the School District of Philadelphia. No prior arts training is necessary. We look forward to seeing you there.
For the second portion of the summit, there will be several presentations with various perspectives on engaging in equity work. Join Sonia, Susan, and Tamara from the Speech Language Pathology Office of Specialized Services through the School District of Philadelphia on the Communications Bill of Rights.
In our session, we will explore equity from the lens of disability. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. also helped to shape the disability rights movement. Consider Martin Luther King's words. People fail to get along because they fear each other. They fear each other because they don't know each other. They don't know each other because they have not communicated with each other. How can we better communicate to know each other? What is the Communication Bill of Rights? Stay tuned.
Hey, it's Miss Maya from Girls Inc. of Greater Philadelphia and Southern New Jersey. On MLK Day, we are hosting a presentation with the Philadelphia School District during their second annual Social Justice Summit. Join us as we give you a glimpse at our programming magic and how we utilize our communities and resources to inspire all our girls to be strong, smart, and bold. Make sure to tune in January 19th at 10:30 a.m. via Zoom to learn more. See ya!
Hello, my name is Morgan Moore. I am the Director of Education and Community Engagement with the Cobbs Creek Foundation. I would love everyone to come to our presentation on Monday because we will be discussing our approach to social justice, which is really focused on educational equity and golf, interestingly. We are really looking forward to transforming the neighborhood around the Cobbs Creek Golf Course. We're looking for community partners and stakeholders in the area who would like to collaborate with us in the process of doing so. And of course, other than the renovation of the golf course itself, the real reason I'll be speaking is the Educational Center, which is coming, and the interim programming that we will be offering. So again, I hope to see you all on Monday. My name is Morgan. I am an avid supporter and an employee of the Cobbs Creek Foundation, and I would love to collaborate with everyone on how we can really build this educational campus to provide the best opportunities for the youth in West Philadelphia. So I hope to see you there.
You'll be able to hear these speakers and several more on the Social Justice Summit this coming Monday. If it's anything like last year, this will be a great day for learning and connection. Again, if you want to sign up, this is open to the public, so you can click the link in the show notes. And if you are unable to attend, keep an eye out on the DEI website and YouTube channel, as these sessions will be recorded and made available there. Thank you for listening to Equity Is. We will be back with more episodes focused on various equity initiatives and perspectives throughout the School District of Philadelphia community. Keep up with our work by signing up for our newsletter or visiting our website, philasd.org/DEI. This information will also be linked in the show notes. Our music is by students at Rock to the Future, an organization that provides free music programs throughout Philadelphia. Thanks for listening.